97.1 Amp Radio, home of commercial-free Mondays. Good morning. We're Edgar, Brian, Chelsea, and Mike Posner in the building.
Posner!
What's up?
Appreciate your vibe.
Just for the record, I'm clapping for myself.
Not for us at all.
Like he introduced me, and I felt like that was my moment.
He's our special guest, Chelsea. Every once in a while, you know.
What are you doing for her? Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Chelsea. Come on.
Hey, thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
Mine was louder. Did you see more people clap for me?
I know they did. You're right. You win this round.
There we go.
I clapped for
We
you.
gotta keep her reasonable on Earth.
Thank you for keeping her humble, Mike. Appreciate you, bro. We need you in the studio more often. Man, we're super stoked. You got your new single, Song About You, and it sounds a little something like this.
Put all your stuff in a box in my room. I don't wanna write no song about you.
Such a dope vibe, man.
Thank you.
I'm digging that. Obviously, was it about 2 years ago? Took a pill in Ibiza. It was absolutely huge. I think your numbers are up to like 1 billion streams now. It went platinum. It was worldwide, you know what I'm saying? And now you bring us this. And even when I started talking to you, when I Took a Pill in Ibiza just blew up, because originally that song was a lot more chill. It was a little more acoustic, almost like a country vibe.
Correct.
And the remix was a Seeb, Norwegian producer, right?
Yeah, CB. 2 guys.
Yeah.
Very talented.
And now you bring us this right here, bro. And where do you want to go with your music? And what vibe do you want to give off now?
Well, my new album, I guess, is sort of like weird, futuristic singer-songwriter music. I feel like I'm part of a lineage of songwriters. When you go back to Woody Guthrie first, and Woody Guthrie's biggest fan was Bob Dylan. And then obviously, Bob Dylan influenced everyone from Beatles on down. But then you got like Springsteen, listen to Dylan, and I listen to all the guys, but I listen to Springsteen too. So I just feel like I'm part of a lineage, of writers. Not saying I'm as good as any of those guys because they're my heroes, but that's what I aim for. So I just try to write things that I don't know, man. Songs pop in my head, and I just try to record them the way I hear them in my head.
Song About You. Who is you in Song About You?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Do you think that person knows?
Yeah. I mean, look, I had a really beautiful relationship with someone just ended.
Yeah.
And this song is about how I felt. And she's a beautiful person. I got nothing bad to say about her. And I don't want to make her life harder. Right. So she's amazing.
Yeah, that's dope.
Sometimes relationships end. It's hard. And I felt just personally just like pain and anger and angst and confusion at the time I wrote it. Just going through a breakup, man.
When you hear that song back, because it is inspired by that pain and angst, is it hard to hear, or have you kind of moved past that? I always wonder how someone is an artist, when you hear it back and have to perform it. Yeah, is it therapy for you?
Sometimes you can conceptualize it, so you're not like going fully back there. It's just the idea of it. It's like what's a good analogy? It's like the difference between the word rose and actually holding a rose. Yeah. So sometimes I can just think, oh, it's a song about you, and I can just leave it.
The concept of it, right? What do you think about the coalition of exes out there that are teaming together to try to get royalties off of artists that are inspired by their relationships and writing songs?
About that.
Right. it's fake.
Like it's the Illuminati.
Yeah, right.
So I heard about that.
You're like, I've heard about that.
They deserve it though.
Royalties.
They deserve it.
Taylor Swift's got a whole lot of people coming after her.
Yeah.
So Mike, like your sound has evolved so much over the years. Is that so? You say you're a songwriter, and you come from a lineage of songwriters. When you start writing like this album specifically, and its difference sonically, is that something that you've always wanted to do, was evolve in your sound, or do you just like, how is that process of just deciding you're going to go a different route, because this industry can be so steadfast and like, no, we want this from you?
Yeah, I don't care about what people want from me. I have to do what I want from me. So I'm just trying to grow as a person and a human, and as I do that, my music, of course, is going to change. And Gandhi said, I have no allegiance to consistency. I have allegiance to the truth. Because he was going to do a protest one day, and he changed his mind. And they say, you can't, all the people are ready to go. He said, nah, well, I don't have allegiance to consistency.
Right.
I have allegiance to truth, which means that I know more today than I did yesterday. So I'm going to act in accordance and
to the current knowledge?
Yeah, to where what I know now. I'm not going to pretend I'm who I was 2 years ago, because I'm not.
Right.
And I think that's what we all appreciate from you, Mike, in the sense that, you know, you made a stance. Obviously, there was a moment in time in your life where you made a decision of like, you know what, I'm going to take liberties as an artist and do my truth instead of doing whatever society or the record label industry may want you to do. And I remember when we spoke, I think it was like 2.5 years ago, we were in New York at the time, and To Kill in Ibiza was blowing up and all that. And you had mentioned that you had changed your life around in the sense of, the one that shocked us the most was like, yo, man, I had the sickest sneaker collection ever of Jordans.
Yeah.
And I just gave them away. And you were living like more of a like simplistic life, and today you're rolling up with this amazing beard and you're
killing it, the beard game.
And then on Instagram you just posted, I'm growing my beard, fact, and I'm moving back in my van. Is that also a fact?
Yeah, so I mean, I moved into my van in May. Now, let's be clear. I do a lot of this kind of thing right now because I'm putting an album out, so I end up in hotels. And,
You're not in the parking lot of the Hilton.
Like LA and New York kind of thing. But yeah, I spent a few months in Colorado in the mountains in the van. Cool. And it's still like, I don't have a house, you know. My stuff is in the van.
Everything
at the moment
you own is in that van?
I got a storage unit too. And then I have like gear for my tours. Like my touring stuff is like in a big storage. Like I have pianos and this kind of stuff that I own when we take out and we do like a proper tour.
Right.
But yeah, man, it's an old, like, you know, that old proverb, that which you possess will one day come to possess you. You know, and I had everything at a really young age. I had the house in the hills, $1 million house, had the sports car, the Jordan collection. And what I realized was I felt the same. I felt the same. I thought before, like when I was a teenager, I thought I'd get the record deal and like I'll have my needs met and I'll be a kinder person because I won't want anything else. But I got all the stuff and I feel like I got a gift from the people who listen to my music. Because basically at 22, I got to learn this is not what life is about.
Right.
I thought it would change my actual experience of life, but it didn't. I just felt like a new, same dude in like a different world.
Right.
And so then I got to ask the question, if not that, then what? And this is when I thought, well, let me see if I can be happy without all this stuff. So that's when I went into my van. Go, can I be... What happens to me when I strip away like these labels of like pop singer or successful young dude or whatever, and when I just roll into a town in Colorado with a population of like 79 and they don't know who I am, like, can I be happy then? Right. When I'm not quote Mike Posner? And so I do this to force myself kind of outside of my comfort zone.
That is so dope. Yeah. Where's been your favorite spot to park your van so far?
That's a good question, man. The first thing pops into my head is in front of my mom's house. It's a good spot.
Detroit or here in LA?
Detroit.
Food's better.
I parked in Black Canyon in Colorado. It's like it's almost like the Grand Canyon there. It's just gorgeous. Gorgeous, man.
That's awesome.
Do you ever like when you're in those towns and stuff, just because you're afforded what an interesting luxury to have that perspective of 22 Jordan collection, house in the hills. Now you're in Colorado, and you're right, you have a level of anonymity. You can do whatever. Have you ever just jumped out, done like open mic, just guitar, done something like anything acoustic in one of those Colorado towns? I'm just fascinated by the idea of people in Colorado walking by a guy like just waving like, hey, that's Mike Posner. You know what I mean?
I spent like 3 days. I had my friends are in a band called Magic Giant, and they were playing in Ouray, Colorado, which is like this small town. It's beautiful in the mountains. And I was like 30 miles away in Black Canyon. They were like, we're playing you. I couldn't believe they were playing there because it's kind of just this mountainous town.
Yeah.
But they have a summer festival series or something. So I said, I'll meet you guys there. And I went there like 2-3 days before them. And I was just like hanging out in the park playing Frisbee with people.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then they came to do the show, and they invited me up to do a song.
Yeah.
And then after I did the song, you know, I did like Ibiza. I was like famous in this town. But like
I blew your cover.
Yeah.
But for the 2 days before, I literally was like just a dude in the park. Like,
That's awesome.
Did anybody come up to you when you did Ibiza there on a guitar? You're like, yo, man, that cover of Ibiza,
Yeah.
you killed it. You sounded just like Mike Posner,
People
bro.
say that to me a lot. Like, I also, the first time I went to Burning Man,
Yeah.
I brought my guitar, and I would just, that was like my gift. You know, you're supposed to bring gifts for people there. So I would ride around, I'd play for people.
That's so dope, man.
And people would come up to me after they'd write me, and they're like, man, at first I thought someone was just doing like a dope cover of you, but then I realized it was you.
Yes, that's awesome.
Man, I would just love to be someone at that festival who was playing Frisbee with you and was like, wait, what? No. Oh, like I want to go back in time and sign my Frisbee.
It's better when they don't.
Right.
No, though. It's better.
Because then you get that genuine like human connection on just a fun friend level in a
It's
park.
fun.
Mike, can you take us back real quick? 'Cause I felt it was so interesting. Take me back to why your favorite spot to park your van is in front of your mom's house in Detroit.
That's my mom. I mean, look, you have someone in your life that loved you since before you can even remember.
That's deep.
I mean, think about what a gift that is.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And you can never pay him back. So it's just nice to be there and like really be there. It took me a while to like, and it's still a practice for me, but to really be with my mom and see her. I spent 12 days in solitude this summer.
Wow.
At this monastery, and one of the things I learned was like we talked about earlier, always conceptualizing. So usually I look at a flower and I think, okay, this is a iris. This is the last time I saw iris. This one isn't quite as pretty. Talking, yammering. This is inner chattering going on all the time. But a few times after just meditating like a lot, you know, I meditate every day, and on this retreat, a few times I would see like the full moon or hear a bird song with a quiet mind, and it brings you to tears.
Yeah,
because it's cripplingly beautiful when you actually experience life or reality without talking about it in your head. And you can do this with people too, but it's harder with people. So I went from that retreat and drove home. It took me like 3 days, and then I just I just try to do that with my mom as much as I can.
That's dope.
Just
That's
be
awesome.
with her, because usually and I still do it sometimes, a lot of times, more than I want. But you have this concept of your mom, like when you're a teenager,
Right.
like telling you what you can't do in this thing, and it's not who she is. That's like when she was parenting you. So yeah, just being able to go there and meet on that deeper level is really
I almost see
cool.
eye to eye.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? As friends.
It's always interesting
Yeah.
that when you're like trying to remind yourself, especially now, like social media and all these things, we're trying to document everything, and you're telling yourself, be in the moment, but then by telling you're just talking, you're right, you're just cluttering your mind with reminding, like, hey, no, don't appreciate, you don't have to Instagram this, you can just be present, which I've never really thought of it that way until you brought it up, but there is, even in the most beautiful moments of your life, you're like heckling yourself.
Yeah.
You got to
Enjoy
capture
it,
this.
man.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Right. Don't be happy. You're living your dream. Be happy. Stop being frantic.
Yeah.
How was it being back? Because you were back in Detroit for a little bit, where you kind of started your music career. How has it sort of inspired this next album? Spending that time there with family.
Really, I finished the album before this.
Okay.
So not really at all.
Oh, interesting.
Honestly. But yeah, I made this album was like 2.5 years. We really did it the right way. I worked with Ricky Reed on it. Ricky Reed's like one of the best producers, man, in the game. I had written like 50 plus songs, and I brought him in, And I was like, here's what I got. I think there's an album in here.
Somewhere, yeah.
And I think it's my best writing, but you tell me. And so he listened to us all. I mean, it's like, no one does this, you know. Usually, yeah, I mean, usually artists will actually put a single out.
Right.
And then if it does well, they go make an album that sounds like the single. And there's nothing wrong with that. It kind of has like a back and forth between the audience. Audience is almost like more involved. I don't like doing it that way though. I like to make the whole album and then put the first song out. So yeah, Ricky, man, God bless him. Listen to like this mountain of music. It's like 3 hours long, you know, 50 songs. I don't even want to listen to 50 minutes, you know.
So and God bless him for that, right?
Yeah, he's like, these are the ones. These are the ones,
That's
you know,
That's
these
cool.
15, and we finish those, and then we take out the, you know, the bottom 5 of those, and you just leave with the best stuff. And then it's like, you know, months of the order of the songs, and another month like just the transitions between.
How does that process go when because you're talking about this album like it's a complete work and experience. So when you're listening to it, how specific do you get in song and track ordering when you listen to it? You're like, I feel it's better with, you know, 2 and the spot of 4.
All the way, man. That's months. That's months of work on that. Because you have to listen to fresh ears too. So you got to take a week off. And then you listen and go, this is not right. And it's all, man, being an artist and a producer and a writer is really about being honest with yourself. There's some part of you deep down goes, this isn't right. And then the mind comes in and starts saying, yeah, but there was one other by someone else, and this could work for it. Whenever you find yourself justifying, it's not right. You know, your heart knows. So, you know, when I'm finishing the album, it's just one by one getting rid of that feeling everywhere. It comes up on one song, you know, so all the reverb's a little loud here. Just every tiny little thing. We go all the way into those details. That's what I do, you know. That's my job. Yeah. It's kind of weird. I heard this interview with Elon Musk, and he was talking about everyone thinks I'm a businessman, but really I'm an engineer. Like I'm sitting doing math, all you know. That's what I spend my time doing. I kind of feel the same way because when people see me, I'm out and talking and performing. But really, what I do is nerd out on stuff like that. That's what I do.
Yeah,
that's amazing,
Mike. I definitely want to talk to you about this, bro, because I'm super happy for you, bro. That you seem so at peace. You said it earlier. At age 22, you had it all, right? The sneaker collection, the house in the hills, everything that you would say most people are working towards, especially artists, right? But you decided to go the opposite way, right? You're a countercurrent of what artists are doing and wanting to go to right now. And being that young at 22 and hadn't experienced that, bro, as you know, we're experiencing right now an epidemic of losing young artists.
Yeah.
And it's something that I believe only you guys as artists and producers know what that pressure is like to live under the limelight, to live with those kinds of pressures. We're talking about, you know, unfortunately we lost Avicii. Unfortunately, we just lost Mac Miller. We almost lost Demi Lovato. What is your answer to that epidemic that has hit our young generation of artists?
Well, I don't have an answer.
What is the answer for your life with, you know, with them struggling with mental health and at times addiction?
You know, all those people I know, you know, I worked with Avicii 10 years. He actually sent me levels, told me to write to levels, and then I did, and he didn't use it because what he used was better than what I wrote. I worked with Avicii a month before he died, you know, and Max, these guys weren't everyday people in my life, but Max, contemporary of mine, you know, we did shows together. We were coming up in colleges, and we know each other. I don't have an answer. Addiction is it's a wild beast, man. It's a disease, and people don't understand it. I've had some experience. Not myself, but I've had a friend that had a problem that we did an intervention. But it's an ongoing thing. One of my best friends is an interventionist, a beautiful man named Richard Ryan. It's just tough, man. A lot of it, I believe, is genetic too. when people have parents that were addicts, they're predisposed. You know, if they use once, it's not like they're done.
Right. It's like that nature nurture struggle right there.
Yeah, it's a serious thing, you know, and it takes a village to help these people and love them, and it's tough. I think my only advice would be, if you know someone that's going through it, you gotta get a professional to help. You can't talk to them one-on-one. It doesn't work. You need a professional. So that would be the only thing I say.
I appreciate you opening up about that, man. It's not something easy to talk about, but you know, it's hit us in a very deep meaning way, because it is our generation. It is that young generation of artists, and then it spills over into, you know, everyday folk. You know,
I think I was gonna say also, I'm not sure if it's a chicken and the egg. You know, is the artist just a representation of a bigger problem in the country, which we know there's a bigger problem in the country with the opiates, or are the artists causing this too when they use, and it's glorified, you know, in a lot of the younger music? It's probably both, right?
Right, yeah.
It's probably
a mixture.
Both. Yeah.
They're correlated, probably. There's a relationship there, man.
I mean, I think one thing that I truly appreciate about it, I mean, I lost my my 26-year-old cousin 3 years ago to heroin. Hey, I appreciate that. And he struggled with that for a long time, and I think it's forced me to be more honest with myself about addiction and about the genetic part of addiction. What I really appreciate, and it has nothing to do with addiction necessarily, but what I truly appreciate hearing from you, and it's really interesting to me, and I'm fascinated by it, is a process of self-exploration and being honest with yourself. And the quote you had from Gandhi about consistency and the truth.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people get caught up in that continuous drive to be consistent. How do I match my numbers last time in whatever they do, whatever part of art they do?
It's scary because you get loved. Everyone loves you being a certain way.
Yeah.
So you tend to think, I have to keep being that way or people won't love me.
Right.
Or they might not. It's a risk to change. So you see the logic there. But this is no way to live a life. You know, for artists or anyone. You know, you have to be able to grow and get better. And a lot of times it's not even real. It's not even real. It's the way we think people think of us. We have no idea what people think of us. We only know what we think. And the crazy thing is, the way we perceive others thinking of us is a function of how we perceive others. Yeah. Because this is the only way, this is our only reference point, is how we think. Absolutely. You see what I'm saying? So if I judge someone for like being overweight, I think everyone's judging my body. Because I assume they're thinking the same way I do.
Right. Our perspective is always, I mean, we're always in the first person trying to guess or saying, well, I did this X amount of streaming numbers on Spotify with that, and I didn't on this. They must hate me now. They must hate this. They must have hated that. When really, I mean, we try to find some objective way to quantify things that are unquantifiable.
Yeah. I would say, I want to add, for me, like personally, as far as like what I do every day, man, I wake up, I leave my phone off for the beginning. I know a lot of people don't have that luxury, but I do, and if you do, you should do it. And then I will meditate for at least 20 minutes, and then I'll exercise, and then I'll turn my phone on. You know, I just want to do go on offense.
Just take time for yourself.
Don't be on
important.
defense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because usually it's like you wake up, you're like, oh my gosh, how many likes did I get on last night's post?
What a Trump tweet. Oh, God.
But was there a time in your life, maybe when you were at the top of your career, that you had a hard time with that and dealing with what people were saying about you? And social media, obviously, bullying is such a thing. Did you ever struggle with that at all?
Yeah, still struggle with it. Still struggle with it. Look, I like to be liked like anyone else.
Do, you know?
So, you know, it's like part of me, like, I got this new song out, people are liking it. You know, part of you gets sort of addicted to this, but you gotta kind of watch it. I mean, one thing I do, this is like very, most people have this luxury, you know, it's like a rich way to solve this problem, but I don't have Instagram.
Right.
I will have a photo and I have someone that works with us. I'll send them, I text them the photo, and I text them the caption, and they post it.
That person's like an app.
Sounds amazing.
I know,
Like
I
an
want one of
app
those.
between the app, and I don't have Instagram on the phone because I get
That's dope.
I start
It's easy to
reading
get
the
distracted.
comments,
Yeah.
and then I
Consumed.
see one that's negative out of the 100, and that somehow ruins my day.
Yeah.
You know,
Mike, we appreciate your honesty, bro. We appreciate you enlightening us today. It
Just
was
trying to
fun, bro.
live, man.
Hopefully you enjoyed it as well,
I
man.
did. I actually really did. Thank you for, sometimes you go on radio stage, especially, top 40 format, and the questions aren't what they were today. If we want to, I've had the worst questions asked.
I bet.
Well, they've asked like bang, marry, kill. I've asked that.
yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
You're like, yo, I lived in a van in Colorado,
Come
man.
on, I got stories.
Done with that.
Yeah.
No, but no, it just says something about you guys. The conversation we had was, it's not typical for
Well,
top 40
I think-
station. So thank you.
Thank you for that. But I think there's more to people than just surface talk. You feel me? And
Yeah,
I think
you-
we appreciate artists like yourself and just people like yourself that are willing to open up and really allow us to find out who you really are. So appreciate that, bro.
Thank you.
All right?
Thank you.
So make sure you get his new single, Mike Posner, Song About You.
Put all your stuff in a box in my room. I don't wanna write no song about you, but you show up in everything that I do.
And remember, Mike Posner rolls low key in a van with the beard. You might be playing frisbee with
Yes.
him. You might be playing frisbee with him here at Echo Park anytime. So just beware. Say what's up to
Yeah,
him.
man.
We out 97.1 Amp Radio with Edgar, Brian, Chelsea, and Mike Posner. Appreciate you, bro.
Peace.